I can't wait. Come on in and sing along. 2, G, 1, C. Red, white, and blue.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome to the America First Warehouse and the America First Media and Television Network. Today, folks, what a treat. Joining us is award-winning celebrity photographer Barry Morgenstein. He spent decades behind the camera filming musicians, entertainers, the media now with headshots. He's here to talk about his book, Rock and Soul, which we will get to. It's certainly a coffee table book, and it's absolutely filled with some of the most iconic shots that's ever been taken, and a whole lot more he's here to talk to us about. Welcome to, first of all, to the America First Media and Television Network, and welcome back to 2G1C Red, White, and Blonde. We are so glad to have you here, Barry. Thank you again for joining us.
Hey guys, it's so great to be back. Good to see you both again.
Hi,
Yep,
Barry.
absolutely, absolutely,
Hey, buddy.
yeah.
And
Yep.
I'm sorry, I forgot to grab your book. I usually put it up. It's in
that's
my
okay.
living room on my coffee table.
It's in the back there in his studio. You can see it back
Oh,
there
there
too.
it is. Okay,
Yep,
good.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got a signed copy though, Morgan. So.
Well, you can get one too. You just
I know.
have
I got to
to,
order it. There's just been some life events that have taken place lately.
right?
Led
And
me down another path.
That's not going anywhere.
That is my
Well-
favorite part of doing what I do and what I have done over the years is getting books signed by authors. I have a huge collection, and it's really it's my favorite part of what I do. So anytime I have an author on, I always ask for a signed copy.
Which is awesome, and
Happy
it's
to
great
get
to get one from Barry. We did have,
And you know
Barry
what,
on
Dale? I
before,
want to
but-
say, like, his book is really a time capsule of our generations.
correct.
But our generation of rock and roll, which
Yep.
is by far the best, in my opinion, the best generation of rock and roll.
I agree. As far as Barry, do you agree with that statement? I mean, we're all relatively the same age. I think Maureen being the youngest out of all of us.
Right.
Hardly, I'm the
We'll never
oldest.
reveal that age, but I think that is really the iconic era of
I
rock
think
and roll.
60s and 70s. That's what I
Mhm.
the two greatest decades for sure.
Timeless, right? Like timeless. The music has just
I almost feel sorry
expanded.
for young people today. Is like what we grew up, or I grew up with in the 70s. Is like you just can't match that. The kind of music.
I agree.
The songs from then I don't know. There's so many songs that are gonna be remembered. I can't think of one song today that's gonna be remembered 50,
Mhm.
75 years down the road. You know, like the Stones or the Beatles or whatever. You know, Stevie Wonder. It's just nothing's gonna be. I can't think of one song today. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
I,
and not-
even in the 80s, I could
familiar
think of
with
a
it.
couple, but after that, I can't
doing
really
it.
think of any.
yeah, that was in the
Yeah, but not only the
Mhm.
music, it was the experience. And Barry, you and I talked about this when I had you on my show the first time. The experience of going to concerts. Kids don't know that today. We don't,
Mhm.
just the experience of buying a ticket
Right.
was so different than today.
Yeah.
And then the experience of like going to the record store. And you and I talked about that, reminiscing about
Mhm.
how you couldn't wait to go on Saturday. I would spend my babysitting money and just looking through the albums and the artwork. And
Mhm.
Right,
all of that is gone now. The whole experience of our music is gone.
You know, it was
And
when I went to a concert, say Madison Square Garden. It was
Mhm.
not like the band you're going to see. You didn't see them every day on social media.
Yeah.
Them on YouTube. It was very rare that you would see maybe a midnight special on TV. It was very rare you get to see them. So they were really like strangers. Like now, it just seems like there's a guy walking down the street and he's playing a concert, or he has a record deal. But like
That's a good point.
the lights would go down, the excitement would start. You'd get that familiar odor in the air in Madison Square Garden.
yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
but it was just, it was exciting. You're seeing these people like an act from like, say, Queen, like from England. Like you wouldn't see them anywhere else. It was very rare. So it was like,
And that was pre-video, pre-MTV.
Well, that's what I was going to say. MTV seems like it may have led down that path
Yeah.
where we thought, well, we could see them all the time and they'd have
Right.
specials on them. And then at that point, it became kind of less I don't know, intriguing to see him
Yeah.
live in
Well,
person.
do you guys remember back in the day what it was like to go buy a concert ticket? You went
I
to the
sure
record
do.
store, or you
I sure
called. I
do.
think they used to have Ticketron. Was that
Well,
nationwide?
Ticketmaster was ours back in Ohio.
We
I
had like
remember.
Ticketron, like way back in the day, and you
Mhm.
would call if your mom was. If you were lucky enough, your mom would let you use her Visa card.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but you're going to pay me that $8.50 back.
True.
Yeah.
But you would
True.
you would go wait in line at Tower Records or the Warehouse. I don't know if those were national stores,
Yep.
but California. And if it was a big concert, you went in the middle of the night and camped out, and you got a wristband that you were in
Yep.
line to get your
Mhm.
ticket. I mean, you know, just so different than
Yep.
today. These kids just have no idea of, you know, what it was
I
like.
had to do that for Bon Jovi. So Slippery When Wet when that came out. That's what I had
You know,
to
that's
do.
a
was
band
call
I
the-
never saw. I wish I would.
Yeah, I mean, it was at the time, you know, I don't know how Barry feels about them. Maybe he can give us our opinion on them. But at the time, that was, they were kind of, I don't know, just iconic, you know, hair
Yeah,
bandy.
that was a big 80s
little
hair
different
band.
than like your Def Leopards and all that,
Mhm.
Quiet Riots and all that. So it was like, it was very
Makes me
interesting.
wonder-
But I remember having to call and stand in line and get the tickets. And then was at they played at the old, and it was a smaller venue. I don't know if you remember or if anybody's familiar with the old Front Row Theater in, I don't know if that's a theater, but it was a circular stage. So no matter where you sat,
Oh,
the
we had a
stage
we had a
would-
theater like that too.
Yep.
It was called the Circle Star, and the
Yeah.
state that must have been a thing too back in the
It must have
60s
been
and
because
70s.
it's gone. Barry,
Yeah,
what's
ours
your
is
thoughts
too.
on Bon Jovi of all people? Did you photograph them at all? Is that a,
You know,
is
I
that a-
did photograph them, so I probably shouldn't say, but yeah, I'm not a big Bon Jovi fan. It was
I
a weird-
know.
Well, funny story is like I had some really killer shots of Bon Jovi, and I'm like, I said to my wife, I said, I'm not going to put him in the book. I just don't like Bon Jovi. He said,
I don't like his politics. So he's
I don't like
another
that
one
either.
that should have
But
kept
I agree
his
with that.
mouth
I
shut.
don't like
You
his.
know?
I just don't like his music. I just think he's so not rock and roll. He's just
Mhm.
like he's
Yep.
very lucky. I don't know. He got it there on his looks. I think. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but I'm just not a fan of his music. So
Yeah.
it's
But
going
he
back-
hit the, you know, they were one that hit that sweet spot, and
Yeah, well, that was like that
You
80s
know.
hair band, you know. it's
yeah,
like-
I was never a hair band.
So I was like debating with my wife, should, you know, she said, well, yeah, you got to put him in the book. Everybody loves him. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want him like put him with these next to BB King and
I know. I
Keith
know.
Richards, whatever. It's like,
I
you know,
know.
but she said, you know, a lot of people love him. And, you know, she convinced me, and her best friend, who unfortunately had passed away recently, was a huge Bon Jovi fan. And we would joke around about it with her. So she said,
Yeah.
in honor of her friend, Melissa, I'm going to put Bon Jovi in the book. you
Well,
know?
good. Do you have a hair band that you're like, okay, well, yeah, now that's a true rock and roll hair band. Is there such a thing for you?
A hair band? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I was not into those hair bands in the
Mhm.
80s, at least, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
But you covered them, and I saw
I did,
recently
yeah.
on
I covered
your.
a lot of them, yeah. For
I
sure.
saw recently you went to a book signing party for your boss. Was it David
Mark
Weiss? Is that his name?
Mark-
David
Mark Weiss,
Or
yeah.
Mark Weiss, who got you your start, and you
Yes.
covered the hair bands, right? I mean, that was.
I give him credit, Mark, and it was great seeing him. It was Mark Weiss. He was a huge 80s metal photographer. He did
Mhm.
this show was a feature about all of his Ozzy photos. It was an Ozzy tribute.
Yeah.
His other work there too, and I haven't seen him in probably maybe 40 years.
Oh, that's a full circle moment for
Nice.
you,
We
right?
drove down to Asbury Park and we went to see his show, and I bought his book. You know, it's you would love his book. I think it's called The Decades That Rocked by Mark Weiss. It was all the 80s guys, stuff like that. But yeah, he used to send me out on a lot of shows. He trained me how to shoot live stuff. So he sent me. He took me under his wing, sent me to Madison Square Garden, all these huge venues. That's where I learned my craft. And yeah, sometimes he would send me to shows maybe I didn't like, but then he would send me the shows he didn't want to cover again, like BB King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, or you know this, the whatever. So
Wow.
So it was I'm always grateful to him. He gave me the start. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
good
Wow.
seeing him, too.
Is
So-
there
Yeah.
any show that you covered, Barry, that in your mind you wish you could relive it? Like you could just go back to that moment?
Oh, well, I've seen so many amazing shows.
Or any show, just not even one you covered.
There are
But,
shows that I wish I could have photographed. You know, there's
but is there one you wish you could go back and relive, like a concert or?
Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan is probably up there.
Oh,
You know, that was
Wow.
an amazing show. Yeah, the Elton John show, because that was a special time when I was his official photographer for Madison Square Garden. I think I told that story last time.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was the only one in the photo pit.
oh, wow.
Probably a lot.
Wow.
You know, yeah, I was lucky. I saw so many great shows. I would love to
Yeah.
go back and see these acts. A lot of them aren't here anymore, like B.B. King. you know.
Sure.
Of course, I like
Yeah.
to go and shoot some of the legends like the Who and the Stones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Martin Aitken, you know.
Yeah. The being the only photographer in the pit for Elton John, what a true honor. And I'll give this is music is subjective and we all have our different tastes. And
Right.
but Elton John was ultra talented. like he is a talented man. And like his music or don't like his music, he was an entertainer he's an entertainer is what he did.
Right.
And that had to be very interesting to be the only photographer in the pit.
Very
covering
intimate,
him.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
like,
I
very
would think.
intimate
Mhm.
moment.
Very, very surreal. Here, I'm still a young guy. It's early in my career, and I'm just coming off
Yeah.
as a fan going to concerts at Madison Square Garden, and we're and you would see 30, 35 people in the photo pit normally. The next thing I know, I'm like working, and I'm the only photographer in the photo pit for Elton John in Madison Square Garden. So it was kind of like, oh my God.
And what year was this?
I think 90, no, not 90, maybe 87, I think.
Okay.
87. Okay. Yeah, nice. We got about 10 seconds left here before our first break. When we come back, let's get into a little deeper about rock and soul and that book and why that book was so important for you to bring out. We will be right back right after this.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by patriots, making patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Visconti, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh, wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers. PatriotMobile.com / it bends to the right. I don't have to tell you. TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Agara coffee. Why? Because it increases focus.
This is T-Mac, the Patriot, and I love Patriot products like Sugar Creek Goods. Check it out today on our website.
It's me, Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Hi, and we are back. I am Maureen Enner with my co-host Dale, 2G1C, Red, White, and Blonde. on the America First News Warehouse, and we have the rock and roll icon, the photographer of all photographers, Barry Morgenstein. He's also a true patriot, and we're going to talk a little bit about politics later on. But I want to ask you, Barry, what gave you the idea to make the book Rock and Soul? And I would imagine it was a huge project because all of your work, I'm sure, is not digitalized. It's probably all photos, boxes of photos.
Absolutely.
What gave you the idea? How long did it take you to go through? How many photos you must have? Let me know that.
So, I guess I'm known now as a headshot portrait photographer. I'm always posting my work on social media, and once in a while I would throw in a music photo, so flashback or an oldie. What I used to do first part of my career, throw up a photo, and people would say, "Well, Barry, you got to do a book. These are amazing. Like, people need to see these." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever," and I kind of ignored it. I just didn't think there'd be much of an interest. But my wife finally said, my wife Shelley said, "Barry, this is your legacy. People want to see this. These are amazing photos. You're being too modest. You got to get this out there. Just do it. Let's do it." Finally, she convinced me. I found a great publisher, Bella's Books. They work with a lot of military veterans, so it was kind of an honor to them. And like you said, Maureen, it was a job. It was a real pain in the ass to do because I shot all color slides back before digital. All these.
You had slides, so everything was on slides.
And black and white negatives. So,
okay.
Boxes. So basically, I had to go out and buy another light box and a loop, which I threw out years ago because I needed it. So I tried to go on Amazon, get that, and I brought out boxes, put down slides. So I had to go through thousands and thousands of photos. Had to scan. I think I scanned, about 1,000 of them, which was, costly. And then I finally narrowed down to maybe 120, 130, whatever.
Wow.
And so it was a job. But it was, it was fun. It was like going through these photos again because I had forgotten about a lot of shots.
Memories, right? Like the memories.
And like even like one I was looking at, I came across a shot of Lemmy, a Motorhead. I'm like, I have no recollection of shooting this photo. I don't know where this was or when I did it or.
Wow.
I don't remember the photo, but I think it's in the book.
Yeah.
So it's like some exciting stuff, or maybe I remembered shots of certain artists, but then there's other ones I had forgotten. I'm like, oh, this is even better.
Did you have them all like dated and like?
A lot of them are because like back in the day, you stamped them and
you stamp, okay.
With a year. Others I kind of had to figure out. But I think most were stamped, so that was pretty made it easier.
Helpful. So you narrowed it down to like 125. I mean, there literally could be 10 more volumes.
I was gonna, there's probably going to be a part 2
Rock and Soul
and
3, Rock and Soul.
Yeah, people
it had to be hard to get down to that last one. Like, oh, I'm going to leave these ones out. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right. Or
it's funny. Sometimes I don't even like looking at the book because, I guess like a true artist is like maybe some artist doesn't like to watch themselves. An actor doesn't like to watch himself act. So I'll look at the book and say, oh, why did I do this? Or why did I leave this photo out? Or maybe I should have taken this one out. Or I see little things. Maybe I should have laid this out differently. So
well, we don't see that, Barry. We don't see it.
But I am definitely thinking of a volume 2 one day.
Yeah.
It's costly. But it was a pretty successful book. We sold out after 2 months when it was released in November. Excuse me. It was an Amazon top seller. And now we're actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame store, which is kind of cool.
Which is awesome.
That is cool.
Which is awesome.
And getting a lot of write-ups about it, doing a lot of interviews. So people seem to like it.
Well, who doesn't love rock and roll of that generation? Even my kids grew up in high school listening to Led Zeppelin, the Eagle. They loved that music. In fact, I went to with my daughter yesterday. She came and picked me up. We went and ran some errands, and she had Led Zeppelin playing in the car.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Mother, what is it? Motherhood. I can't remember the song. I almost was going to snap a picture and say, "Look, guys, my daughter."
That's great. You should have. You should have done it.
I love that. I love when I see young kids appreciating our music because, like I was saying earlier, what do they have to listen to these days?
They don't. They didn't have
hear this music from their parents or grandparents and say that. That's just a great way to learn music. I have so many clients that come in and I'm always playing my jukebox, which I think we see in the background. and I have my
I love that. I love that.
The young kids love it. So which is great.
Was there? So you were talking about how you were looking at it and you're like, man, I have no recollection of that. But was there a photograph when you were going through the process, and you have 120 thousands of them, but you're trying to narrow it down, where one kind of meant something different today to you than it did at the time you took it, or meant more to you because maybe you appreciate it now as opposed to when you're working, you're filming, you're doing the photograph, and at the time you that's your job, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And now looking back on it, is there one that kind of meant more to you now than it did then?
Actually, it's a great question because it's actually think I'm blocking it. It's like right behind me is I don't know if you can see, but basically Whitney Houston shot. At the time, I was like, okay, Whitney Houston, it's not my kind of music, a little pop. I respected her talent, but I wasn't excited about it. But now she's no longer with us, and she is obviously a legend. And I found this killer shot, which is in the book. You can't see it behind me. It is in the book, and it's really just it's one of my most proud photos, I have to say.
Nice.
I just think it's a killer shot. And you know what? Actually, the same goes for the Michael Jackson, which is in the book. I mean, when I was shooting him, I admired him. I grew up with the Jackson 5. But again, it wasn't really rock and roll or blues. It was kind of like, that's just not my genre, I guess.
That
I was raised on. But shooting him was incredible, watching him perform. But now looking back, okay, he's the king of pop. He was a legend. And, it's honored that I shot Michael Jackson. And then I got some really cool shots of him. I just can't, you can't get that back again. So I'm really proud of both those photos. Like two of my favorite photos in the book.
Wow.
Which
aren't rock era, which is incredible, right? Two of your favorites, which aren't the genre that really you love. Go on, Maureen. I'm sorry.
And again, and I've said this before with you, Barry, again, your book is seriously, it's like a yearbook, like going through your high school yearbook and remembering all the good time. It's such every time I sit down with your book, and I do all the time, it's sitting on my coffee table in my living room, and I flip through it, or I'll hear a song, and then I'll let me see if he's got him in his book. And the book is alphabetized, which I think is great.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think I mentioned it but it's alphabetized. So it starts with AC/DC.
I'm glad you said that because that wasn't my idea. And I'm like,
I think it's great.
I said to Shelley, I said, why did they do alphabetized? Because maybe I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm glad you appreciate it because I was on the fence of whether that was a good idea. So I'm glad you like it.
No, I love it. I think it's great. And it's because it's easy reference. You can, look through.
Makes sense.
But it's literally like, it just makes you feel good. You just sit there and you look and you reminisce and you look at these photos and it reminds you again why music is so important to civilization.
Right.
Is I can go through that book and remember a concert I went to, who I was dating, a song that I loved, who I remembered the song with. That's what music does to us, and that's what your book does to me. It just brings me down this memory lane of
I love that.
The greatest music. And we're so lucky that we had that music, and we're so lucky to have someone like you to preserve it for us.
Thank you. And actually, another good thing about it is, and again, it's not just rock and roll, it's not just blues. I have all genres for everybody. So we have folk artists, we have pop artists, we have rap.
Bill Graham is in it.
Bill Graham, a promoter. We have can have a dog for animal lovers. It's actually, the story with that is Levon Helm of the band, the drummer for the band. I went up to shoot him at his place in Woodstock, New York, and his dog named Muddy after Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters.
Wow.
And I did a portrait of the dog on the grass, and actually I sent it to him. I had it framed. And it was up in the barn where they would do rambles, their concerts. So he actually hung that dog up, at the barn. So so he made the cut. So I figured I have to have one animal in there. So
that's awesome though.
Buddy named after Muddy Waters, and it was leaving a Helms dog. So there's a music.
It's all full circle there. Anyways,
right, exactly.
Applies. There was so many iconic pictures and that you've taken over your career, any headshots and media personalities and all that. Is there one you didn't get, or you're like, well, I wish I would have got that shot? I'm sure you see other photographers and other photographers' work and admire theirs as well as they do yours. Is there one you're like, damn, I wish I would have got that one? That's the shot.
Yeah, I do. I have a feature on my social media, and I'll say today's photo I wish I took.
Oh, Okay.
So and people love that. So I'll go back, and sometimes it might be I'm a big old Hollywood guy, so lots for the golden era, and obviously I wouldn't be too young to photograph these people. So whether it's James Dean, Cary Grant, or whatever, Ava Gardner, or Marilyn Monroe. So I'll do that, but I'll do more recent people and there are people that I wish I photographed, as far as maybe not only celebrities, but maybe an actor like Al Pacino is my favorite actor. I'd love to photograph John Boyd because he's a great actor and a patriot. So I love
and a patriot.
Yeah, and Eastwood. I got the chance. I'd love to do a portrait of Gary Sinise, who I know, and I photographed him live, and I photographed a few of his concerts for his foundation too.
Oh, wow!
Foundation, and that's one of my old. Actually, and I should say I almost forgot that's one of my all-time favorite photos, which is in the book too. I have this really cool shot of Gary Sinise. He's with the Lieutenant Dan Band, which is named after his character. So he goes around touring, benefiting veterans. So I have this really cool shot of him. I think it was Memorial Weekend at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it's Gary is playing on stage, and I have 3 veterans in front of the stage doing a selfie in front of him, and I I captured them doing the selfie, looking down at them with this smile, and I says everything in that photo, and I think my favorite compliment I get on that photo, which I've heard from a few people, is that it reminds them of a Norman Rockwell painting, and Norman Rockwell is my favorite. I'm a Norman Rockwell fanatic, so anyway, so that's a nice compliment, and that
that's
was
a great.
But he's somebody else I'd like to get in the studio. But there's a lot of like classic actors. There's historic people I would love to photograph. So I'm always comparing people's work for sure.
Folks, couple seconds. We will be right back right after this with Barry Morgenstein.
Beneath the Texas sky, I can rope and ride like Daddy, and I never ever cried. But now the world's a-changing, girls must cover up to their eyes. Don't wanna be sold to some old man, I'd really rather die. So just go home. Just go home. Just go home. Sharia law's not welcome over here. Just go home. Take your medieval rules and stick them in your ear. Just go home. Your Sharia law will never rule our land. Just go home. We've got the Second Amendment to help you understand. Just go home. Just go home. Just go home. Take your hijabs back, better pack your burqas too. Just go home. God's blessed Texas and the other 49 too. Just go home. Don't Sharia my Texas, just go home. Don't Sharia my Texas, just go home.
Oh, the yellow rose of Texas that I'm gonna see. Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me.
She cried so when I left her, it nearly broke my heart. And if I ever find her, we never more will part.
Oh, the yellow rose of Texas that I'm gonna see.
Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me. She cried so when I left
doesn't.
And welcome back, everybody, to 2G1C Red, White, and Blonde here on the America First Media and Television Network. Thank you for starting your Tuesday off again with us. Great lineup of podcasts coming your way after ours, so stay tuned, like, follow, and share. We are here with the great Barry Morgenstein. We are discussing everything photography and music and media. And I gotta, if you don't mind me asking, then this can do with headshots or just your photography in general. But it takes a special person and an artistic person to know what the right shot is and how to catch that right shot. Not trying to get secrets away, or not, maybe you don't even know, or it's just God-given talent. But what do you look for when you're doing a headshot or a photo shoot in general that like we don't see? Like I would be like, oh, yeah, I would have never caught that shot because, well, one, I'm an idiot, or two, I don't even know how to use a camera. But what do you look for that maybe we don't, or the general public doesn't, that makes your artwork so special?
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, I don't have any secret formula that I even put into words. It's like one of those things, you just feel it. I know when I'm shooting. I just know. I know when I got it, and I just feel it. There's no way I could like teach it to anybody.
You have an
I have
eye.
to take like 1,000 shots on my iPhone to just try to get something.
No, you have an eye. I've been photographed many times over the years, and a good photographer is hands down when you're doing headshots or modeling or anything. A good immediately if you are in front of a really good photographer who tells you your head tilt, lean forward.
I was going to say, you're on the other side of that, Maureen. How did that feel, or what is how?
You just know. I mean, you just know. I mean, a really good photographer, which I'm going to be in front of Barry's camera one day. I promise. I'm going to get.
We're going to fly to New York and just do headshots. The whole warehouse. He needs to do them for everybody.
I'm going to do it, but a good, immediately. First of all, immediately you have a good photographer when you walk in their studio. And you tell me if I'm right, Barry. I'm looking at it from the object of being photographed. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you have your studio set up. You have the lighting. You may not have all the lighting on, but you have everything in place. Mm-hmm. You've got, and then you have, as the photographer, I'm sure you have the subject in your mind. You know what you're shooting. Okay, I've got this blonde coming in from Texas. She's got a podcast. All right, let me see what I can do. You have your subject, right? Yeah. And a good photographer will guide you because you're relying on that photographer to get your best shot. So you're going to know, like, I might tell you, oh, this is my good side. And you'll be like, no, I think this side's better. Because you're looking at it and you're going to guide your subject to get the best shot. Am I right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here, I just brought up on my website. I love this quote because I wanted to get it right from Shelley Winters. She was an old-time...
Shelley Winters.
Oh, yeah.
But her quote was, which I have on my website, it says, a good cameraman captures our face, a great one, our souls.
Oh.
Yep. That's an absolute spectacular quote.
Yeah, and there's nothing more stressful.
That made it blind to me, so
Yeah.
And it's very stressful to go in and be photographed. I don't care how experienced you are. Mm-hmm. It's very stressful. You never feel good. I don't ever feel good about myself. I'm like, oh my God, I should have, fasted 2 more days. I don't know. It's stressful.
Yeah.
And so when you have a really good photographer that puts you at ease, knows what he's doing, has everything in place, and you trust that person to shoot you because you have the eye, Barry. You know what you're looking for. I might be like, oh, I just want neck up this. I don't want you to show that. You'd be like, a good photographer, like, no, they just shoot.
Yeah.
And then every time I've ever had that done, when the photos come back, and in my experience, I never get to pick the ones that get put out.
Yeah.
The model, you don't pick the agent, whatever, they pick it. But I'm always like, wow, I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's such an art and it's such a talent and it's just having the God-given eye.
It's so much about feeling because a lot of people, I know so many photographers. I mean, my lighting, people love my lighting, but my lighting is simple. And it's basic.
Lighting's everything.
I know, but I know photographers that have this elaborate setup and the most expensive camera.
Yeah.
All these lights, and then they still. But if you don't have that eye, that feel for it, you're not going to capture. So again, always going back to music. I always compare. I think in an interview once I said my lighting or my approach is simple. I'm like a blues guitarist who plays simple notes but with feeling instead of a flamboyant, maybe a guitarist who's doing that fast,
correct.
King Bay mountain scene type of stuff. It's like down the, but there's no soul, there's no feeling to it.
So I would imagine walking into your studio is very. Walking into your studio is probably just very comfortable and easy. Some photographers are just assholes too.
You got a jukebox going. It's gotta be.
I do hear that about photographers too.
They can be assholes.
I know a lot of them. I didn't hang out with a lot of photographers because there's a lot of them are assholes. But but I never understood that. It's like the idea is my thing. You walk in, we have a candle going, we have a jukebox with music. We talk, we have a good time, in between while they're getting makeup. My makeup artist and I, we're talking, and another person. Even when they're shooting, I'll just I'll stop in the middle of shooting and just start talking. Maybe if they're an actor.
What's a typical photo shoot? What's the length of time it takes for a typical? Like if you're doing headshots for media, what is that? What's the normal
maybe
time?
2 hours, hair and makeup, and the shoot.
Okay.
I shoot pretty quick. It doesn't take me long to get the shot, so the shoot itself is fairly quick. Not that I rush, but it really just
Do they bring their own makeup artists and stuff, or is that something?
I have a great.
You have your own. Okay.
That's usually they all do. Photographers usually always because it's their work.
Yeah.
So they want to trust the makeup artist to.
People will say, "Can I bring my own makeup artist?" I say, "You can," but I don't recommend it because I know
your makeup artist knows your lighting, knows your style.
Okay, that was a good question because I didn't really, or good answer because I didn't know that.
But you know what is so. What's the word? Amazing. In this day and age, when we take pictures, right, we use cell phone and there's no sound, right? It's just
right.
When you go in now, when I get shot and you hear the click, 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 it's like it brings back that, oh my gosh, we're back to that.
It's like real.
You hear the camera clicking and you're like, because today we don't hear it with cell phones, right? Everybody uses so you don't. But to hear the clicking of a camera when you're getting shot is
flashing.
It's like, oh, this is the way it used to be.
Exactly.
Has modern technology kind of hurt the industry in general because of that? Because there's people, everybody's got a camera in their hand. And I'm not saying for what you do with headshots particularly.
But what hurts my business is the AI stuff. That's my. It's like because and I'm also on social media ranting about AI, which I do kind of with a little humor, but because to me, like people will post an AI headshot. I'm like, do not use AI.
Don't.
Not a difference. And it doesn't look like you. But the worst is when people, they take 20 years off them. I was like, well, who do you think you're fooling? If you do that for a dating site, it's like, well, they're going to know when you get there.
Catfishing almost,
Hey, I touch up my photos a little bit. Come on.
I mean, everybody does. But,
it doesn't look fake, but I mean, it has to, as long as it looks like, there's nothing wrong with touching up. Actors too, if you're going for an audition and another person shows up, that doesn't work that way. So I always, my post, I always say, sarcastically, I'll post, hey guys, I finally gave AI a shot with my own headshot, and I really like the results. And then I'll post this photo of Paul Newman or Carrie. It's like, it's like, so trying to make.
You can't tell the difference. Look, we
really.
Well, have you heard the stories of men like going on a date with these women they meet online, and then they're like, wait a minute, that is not. I mean,
well, exactly my point. Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure men do it too. I'm not going to say only women.
Everybody does it. Yeah, it's like I see these women. It's like, wow, you look like Sophia Loren, but that's not you.
Yeah. There's one thing I learned. One thing we were taught years ago is the camera doesn't lie. So you got to be who you.
Be happy with who you are. I've seen people who are maybe not so young, but why don't you age gracefully? And or do a little touch up. That's fine.
Well, aging's the process. It's
Yeah.
Barry, do you touch up your headshots? What do you do to your head? Because you have to. Every headshot is touched up. I mean, we're not.
No, not every one of mine. Actually, a lot of my headshots are not. But it's up to the client if they want it. But I have somebody who does it. I don't.
Okay.
And that's great. But again, I would never do really over the top. Again, it's very subtle. Maybe there's a hair place. Maybe smooth out a little.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah. Has a client ever been like, no, I want that headshot, and you're like, hey, it's really not the best one? I mean, does that happen a lot? Where you're like, I prefer this one, and you should trust me because I'm the guy.
Does, but yeah, a lot of times they do come to me and get my opinion.
Yeah.
But I've had clients back to the AI who've done the completely overtouched, and it's not my photo anymore. And they'll say,
oh no.
And they've asked me to can you post it for me? I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't post that. That's not my
Yeah,
work.
I didn't take that. That's not
Good for you though. That's because you're right. That's not. It's been dubbed.
I'd sure love to know the name of that person who asked that, but I understand if you don't want to. So that would be interesting to know.
No, nobody famous. I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have a famous, like a newscaster, a Fox News person come in, do they pick their headshot or does their agency do it?
No, they do it.
They do it. A lot of times, the agency, you have to just turn it over to the agency, and they pick the one they like.
Yeah. Well, if I shoot somebody from Fox, it's usually they're hiring me on. It's not Fox's hiring.
Oh, okay.
Usually
really? Okay.
On their own, and they'll.
Okay.
And they'll hire me personally, so they do. They pick.
They can choose their own.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the other thing. A lot of times when you're modeling stuff, you don't have the choice that's picked. They just pick the one they like. And it's never the one I ever liked.
We got about 14 seconds left on this segment. When we come back, why don't we discuss a little bit of politics? There's a very interesting story about Barry and how he became conservative, and we'll get into that right after this. We'll be right back.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. I've been there, I looked, I tried to see. Here I am in New York City, watching a nice sunrise. Not really. I'm in the warehouse. I'm telling you about a conservative organization, not the AARP loser, left wing, forget about it. This is where you need to be. You get everything conservative menus. America.us/TAFW.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Hey Patriots, we're excited to bring to you Sugar Creek Goods, all natural quality skincare products brought to you by great patriots like we are here. That's why we brought this into the America First Warehouse. All these great natural products are amazing, and you can get them on our website and go right to www.sugarcreekgoods.com/TAFW. These are phenomenal products. I love them all. And this one right here is for Patriot Pup. Thank you so much for supporting us.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
And we are back. I am Maureen Enner with my co-host Dale on 2G1C, Red, White, and Blonde on the America First Media and Television Network. We have Barry Morgenstein, and we were just having a great time talking about music, rock and roll, the 70s, the 80s, a little bit into the 90s maybe. And we were talking about him being a professional photographer, and not only photographing rock legends, but he photographs a lot of famous people. And we were talking about headshots. And I just want to say again that a true photographer like you, Barry, it's an art. You have an eye for it. You were born with it. It shows in your work. And I will get to your studio one day. I will, I promise. And I am sure the minute I walk into your studio, I'm going to know, okay, I'm good. I'm in good hands. This guy is, he's good. And I just, for everybody out there thinking with all these cell phones and thinking they're photographers, like it's truly an art, and it's truly something that you're born with and you're gifted. And it's definitely true for you, Barry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to switch it up a little bit. You are a native New Jersey. What do they say? New Jerseyan? How do they
say that?
I say Jersey boy.
A Jersey
boy.
Okay. Another good music.
Yeah.
Native New Jersey, born and raised. You're across the river from New York, right? There is a river, right? Yeah. I had to think for a second.
I'm like a New Yorker too. I spent so much time in New York, growing up. So.
Right. So it's almost the same, right? New Jersey, New York. You grow up there. Your studio, where you are broadcasting from right now, is in New York City.
Yes, Manhattan.
So you are a New York, East Coast, New York businessman, a Jewish American, lived in New York during 9/11. And you were on the East Coast on that day? And
I was in Montclair, New Jersey.
Yeah, 25 years ago. I wanted to ask you, I know you and I talked about this before, but I want you to share it with our audience today. How 9/11 changed you, and what about 9/11 made you a patriot?
Okay, yeah, great question. Because I was grew up in the 70s, long-haired rock and roller. I was, and it was a little different being a liberal Democrat back then. It was a little different, but that's what I was. I was getting my politics from, I voted my first president I voted for, which I'm so embarrassed to say, was Jimmy Carter over Reagan. And why did I vote for Jimmy Carter? Because Jimmy Carter announced that he was a fan of the Allman Brothers. So I was like, that's a
that's why that's the uninformed voting, right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Are the Allman Brothers, were they from Georgia?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So,
I thought so.
Yeah, but and I would always, my dad, big patriot, and my grandma from Brooklyn, tough Brooklyn woman.
Yeah.
He once moved out of an apartment building because there were too many communists there.
Smart woman. Smart woman.
She used to listen to Bob Grant on the radio, and it would
Yeah.
drive me crazy. Anyway, so I would always argue with my dad and my grandma about politics. I was like, I was a liberal idiot, So I was like, I was young. Like they always say that quote, which I don't know whether he really said it. Churchill said, if you're under 30 and you're not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're over 30 and you're not a conservative, you have no brain.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse, So
that's right.
Anyway, so I was, just, but there was always a little side of me that was, I guess, like my best friend Paul would say, well, you make a weird liberal or a hippie or whatever I was back then, because on the weekends you're watching World War II movies all the time. What's that all about? So,
yeah.
My dad, I would my walk in. My dad was watching World War II documentaries.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, this looks interesting. And we watched Patton together, So anyway, to jump up. So I'm living in Montclair. I have this work out of my studio. It's my first studio. Montclair now is known as, even today, is one of the most liberal cities in America. That's why I got the hell out. But everybody was kind of liberal and this and that, and as I say, moonbatty. It's so anyway, 9/11 happens, and I'll never forget. It's like a born again moment to me. I call it born again, not to be, hope that's not offensive, but that's what it felt. It was really like a born again moment. So we used to hang out on this one strip on the street with a lot of shops, stores, and I think it was a Sunday after 9/11, and they were just, everybody's obviously depressed and angry and this and that. And I just never forget the moment. There was a girl, and she owned one of those crystal stores, wherever that is. Again, what I call moonbatty stores, wherever they sell. And she said, "Oh, we're going all to the park later, and we're all going to go light candles, and we're going to go send good vibes to Afghanistan." And I think at that moment I kind of cracked a little, and I said, send vibes. I said, no, we should send, I don't know what I can say on here, but we should
You can say anything you want.
we could send fucking bombs, not vibes.
Mhm.
And it was like right then, I was like, and then right immediately, for some reason, I started watching Fox News, and I started getting a different point of view, and I realized that there's evil in this world. It's not, you can't be naive. There's evil in this world, and I think I've always admired. Even growing up, I remember watching the tally of Vietnam deaths on the TV, and that always stuck. At the nightly news, they would have how many deaths. So that's I grew up. I was young, but I was aware of it. I wore a bracelet for a Vietnam veteran when I was in elementary school, and I just so from then it really just realized, okay, these heroes, what they're doing for our country, they're going to protect us. The firefighters, who were on 9/11. These are the people I admire. I'm going around admiring the wrong people. It's just like.
But there were a lot of people that felt like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of
that were like, oh, we don't want to retaliate with violence. That doesn't help anything. And, it was after the worst day in our history on our soil, there were still people believing, oh, we don't need to have violence against violence.
Yeah, violence doesn't, two wrongs don't make a right. That bullshit.
Or we're going to create more terrorists if we attack them. I say, no, let's just wipe them out. Not the one our country.
I would never.
I'm sorry, Maureen, but so I became even more conservative than my dad. I mean, he was very conservative, but me and him we could talk now. We would send, over the past the years that we were together before he passed away, we would talk politics, and we'd watch news, and we'd send articles. It was great, and I think he was happy. I just wish my grandmother had lived.
Yeah. She knew. She knows.
She's watching you, Barry. She's proud of you.
And it was probably part of them and their voice and what you've heard in the past, too. And coupled with what you witnessed there at 9/11, that made you think, wait a second.
Like, but don't beat yourself up, Barry, for voting for Carter, because that period of time, America was very... We had just come out of Vietnam. Everything was a mess. That was a time that... it really, thank God it only lasted 4 years. And then
liberals back to that kind of liberal, those Carter, even Bill Clinton, they still loved America.
Yeah, it wasn't the hate that we see.
Liberals today, they hate America. They're communists.
Correct.
So,
I always say I would never.
Was different back then.
Yeah,
you're right, Barry.
It's like I always say, JFK would be a Republican today.
Republican right now. Yep. Absolutely, he would.
Well, I would never want to have another 9/11, but I would like to have another 9/12, because I think that was such a day that we all flew our flag. Do you remember when you couldn't even buy a flag? They were sold out. You couldn't even.
Correct.
Everything was sold out. USA hats. It was such a moment of we had pride and we came together. And nobody argued about it. It was just like, we're America. We have to stand together.
Correct.
And I thought that might happen again after Butler.
I did too, but
it was only our side. It was only 50% of the country.
Yep. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that that's the craziness and lunacy out there?
Well, and then the left said that he faked it. He shouldn't have worn the Band-Aid to the
convention.
It's just, there's so much more division and hate. And what's your name? Dale.
Well,
I'm like, who am I talking to? Dale, you and I talked about this, how I think in some ways the country is not better that after 9/11. I feel like in a lot of ways, after World War II, we were such a strong nation, economically, family, everything. And I feel like now we are on the eve of the 25th anniversary of 9/11. I don't think that we are better. I think we are worse.
Can I give my opinion on that one too?
Yes, please do.
Please. But, I really think we lost after 9/11, because I think the country has not been the same. You know why? I think, and it started after 9/11, we were attacked by Islamic terrorists. So what do? We elected President Barack Hussein Obama. And I'm sorry.
Agreed.
That may be offensive to people, but that was,
nope.
Why after 9/11? And then we decided to bring all this, people from these
Muslims
that
from
hate us.
third world countries and terrorists.
Yeah. That's what Dale and I were talking about the other day. Ever since 9/11, we have this huge Islamic influx.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we were at war,
But the opposite, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
The opposite. We're doing, it's a stupid guilt. I don't know. White guilt.
I don't know.
guilt. I think it's guilt. I think it is.
But why, but I mean, it's dumb. I don't understand it, but I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, why would you elect a president? And okay, and if that was his name, but he was a great patriot, but he was showing signs that he was not a great patriot.
There were signs well before that. Like there are always signs well before that.
Yeah,
we all knew it. And then you look at even in New York City, what they just did in the mayor race. Like that to me, that was the stab in the heart. I don't live in New York City. I get that. But to hear that Mamdani won that election, literally it was a stab in the heart. And I remember real quickly before the break that I remember seeing an interview like prior to the election, who are you voting for? It was a little Jewish lady who says she's voting for Mamdani because he's going to offer free groceries. It was, I'm sitting there and I'm just taken back by, and this wasn't a young hippie who voted for Jimmy Carter. I mean, this was somebody who's been through it and an older lady who knows better. And I'm just like, what has happened?
Well, they say that Jewish, obviously I'm Jewish, I can say this, they say Jewish people are so smart. Not really. It's like,
I think it's people in general.
The leftist Jews. I know a lot of Jewish people that are patriots and conservatives, obviously.
Yes.
But way too many are leftists. And they're not real Jews. They're Democrat. They're liberals or socialists.
We're done. We have.
Sorry, we got to go to a break here real quick. Hard stop. We'll be right back more here with Barry. So
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by patriots, making patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born. Built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Bisconte, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh, wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers. PatriotMobile.com / it bends to the right. I don't have to tell you. TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer. Find professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Agara coffee. Why? Because it increases focus.
This is T-Back, the Patriot, and I love Patriot products like Sugar Creek Goods. Check it out today on our website.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back to the quickest show I've ever done in my life. Right here, 2G1C, Red, White, and Blonde on the America First Media and Television Network. I am Dale, my lovely and talented co-host Maureen, and the even greater Barry Morgenstein has been joining us. If you missed the first hour, you missed a lot. We talked a lot about his photography, about 9/11. We're going to kind of continue into that a little bit. Maureen, you've got a great question that I think Barry would appreciate being asked, and I would love the answer to.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. So, Barry, being a native East Coaster, New Yorker, as we talked about, you're seeing what's going on in New York City. You're a Jewish American businessman, studio in New York City. You've got your,
Proud Zionist.
Proud Zionist.
Yep.
You've got your finger on the pulse of everything that's going on in New York. We only hear it, obviously, in the media. But how do you feel about Mom Donnie honoring 9/11 on the 25th anniversary? How does that make you feel?
Absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. He has absolutely no business being there. If he shows up, he's really giving a FU to a lot of people because he knows he's not wanted. Families don't want him there. I know a good friend of mine, Tim Brown. He was a firefighter, a hero from that day, who, by the way, later I want to plug his book that just was released today because his story is incredible. It's even more.
We'll have to get him on. We'll have to have him on.
Tim Brown. It's called The Greatest Love. That's his new book. So everybody buy that. It's released today. His story of 9/11, his experience is just, I'm honored that he's my friend. But anyway, so people like that, it just, I mean, he doesn't care about the families. I'm sorry, he's an Islamic terrorist sympathizer, I should say.
Yes, correct.
Words. I mean, that's bullshit. I don't care about it. People say about his smile, whatever. Don't believe that shit. We know what but the sad thing, he was elected. Who would have thought 25 years ago, Rudy Giuliani, mayor, we go from that to this.
America's mayor to now this. It is incredible to me.
Yeah. Doesn't that make you question, though, the legitimacy of the election? I seriously now look at every one of these crazy elections. How did this happen?
Well,
and then I have to look at the legitimacy of it, the legality. Did it really, was it a free and fair election? I find it hard to believe that it was.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I only disagree a little. Our elections are not fair. But you know what? I hear what people are saying. Half of this country does not like America. You know, a lot of look at all this. Look at the communists they're voting in, the Islamists that they're voting in, and I see. I'm always fighting with people on. So a lot of these people, you interview people on the street in New York before the election, they're like, "Yeah, I'm voting." They were young people. You get all these young people who are indoctrinated in our universities.
Correct.
They're voting for this guy. I mean, that's real. So,
but you know what?
Because he's Santa Claus and he's offering everything free, and we're going to have all this.
They're voting on the free stuff. They're not voting on the policies. They're voting on the tag words of free grocery stores, free buses, free childcare. The free Medicaid, all of that. The same thing that Abdul Saeed is running on. And they're eating it up.
But also,
these young people are eating it up. And they're not thinking about.
They're voting a little bit for free Palestine too. So
they are.
Ideology a little there too. They agree with that crap. They agree with these. They're siding with the terrorists, Hamas or whatever. So that's.
Where is Palestine, by the way? Do you know?
Where it was what?
Where is Palestine, by the way?
It doesn't exist. Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
show it to me. then we can have a conversation.
I find. What I find interesting about Mamdani, this is how I know he doesn't care about anybody's feelings. He's so hateful. If he cared, he would not show up at 9/11. He would say, you know what? I'm going to back away from this. I'm going to let other people.
He's doing it to kick every one of them.
He's doing it to be.
Is what he's doing.
That's the hate he has. That's the hate he has in his heart for that city and for this country. Because if he had a heart, he would say, you know what? I'm going to step away from this today. I'm going to let somebody else. But no, he's going to be there because he just wants to shove that knife right in the backs of everybody who suffered on that day.
Correct.
Yeah. He should send Commissioner Tish there and let her represent the city because he shouldn't be there. It's like it's just such an insult, and he's going to be there with that smirk.
I know.
I'm curious how the family, because they're going to be, they don't want drama. I'm sure. I wonder how
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I don't
the thing,
know about
too.
drama.
I don't know if they want
I wouldn't
that or-
underestimate those families. I wouldn't underestimate.
I hope they do. I hope they do. So I hope they say, or at least turn their backs. Like they did with De Blasio when he went to the police officer
Exactly.
funeral and
Cops.
probably the anti-cop. So
Yep.
they rightly just turned their back on him. So I don't know if they do that, but if a few people have choice words for him, that's good for that's. I'm fine with that.
That is good. Well, I'm pretty sure Scott Lebedo might.
I
be
was
there,
going to
so
say
we'll
we
see.
depend on Scott.
Yeah,
If he's healthy, God bless him.
If he's healthy, Scott, thank God. But
He
yeah,
might be
I'm
have
sure
a
he'll be
doctor's
there.
warning not to get too excited.
I mean, the guy flew an airplane with a banner over it says, "Mom, Donnie, stay away from 9/11 site." While he was in the hospital.
Yeah, 2 days after.
But you know
Have
what
you met
else?
Scott Lebedo? Have you ever met him?
Yeah. I met him at the. I've met him a few times, and we've hung out at CPAC.
Okay.
And I hung out at the America's Warehouse. I think I was at a Patriot fashion show there. And
Oh, really?
yeah, we were hanging out there. That was the only time I've been there.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, no, we've hung out many times. He's
He's on my bucket list. I've not met him yet.
He's such a great guy. He's
close,
one of my closest friends, Chris Martini, who's.
Oh yeah, I know Chris.
Oh, you know Chris. Well, he directed Relentless Patriot, which is
Relentless Patriot, Scott Lebedo's film. Yeah.
We went to that premiere.
Incredible
talented
human
and
being.
great.
We're gonna have him on, Maureen, soon too. Yeah, he's great. I don't know if you've met him or talked to him or had the pleasure of knowing
I'll do
him.
an intro.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, we text.
Do you know what else concerns me about Mamdani showing up at 9/11? Are his supporters coming out and causing a problem?
That too.
That's more, is he going to have
Think of
his
that.
hate group with him? And
Imagine-
then we have the families. And he wants chaos.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to show that this is just going to be a chaotic. Is his side going to show up and piss off the families? And then all of a sudden they
He
have a
knows
big
him
brawl.
showing up is going to create the chaos, and I think that's all he's doing it for. And you're right, Maureen, is him just himself. He doesn't need his cronies with him.
But
Just
they're
his
going to
ass
show
showing
up. You know he's going to have his side show up.
But
And
they're
he
not gonna
wants
start it.
he wants a big brawl. He wants to be able to show look at what these Patriots act like. He wants nothing out of this but what he can get from it.
And knows what he's talking about, his evil wife who has no business being there too. This is the lady who celebrated October 7th. So
7th.
Absolutely no business being there. I mean, they're friends with this, what's his name? Hassan Piker.
Yep.
Who said America
We deserve 9/11.
We have a mayor who I think he's friends with him. I know that other.
Oh yeah, they are.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, they were part of getting him elected.
Yeah. So this is who we have representing our city, and it's going to be disgracing the families of 9/11 and the victims.
It will.
And America.
And America.
And America.
It's my head explode. This is where we are in this country. Just make my head explode. So
the solution. Maureen knows I'm a solutions guy. So
we talked about this. Why are
your solution? I want to hear it.
I don't have one. Well, I do. It's just not. It's not.
Maybe not
legal for me to do
practical.
it. Yeah, it's not super tactical, but it is.
Dale's solution would be to roll tanks in all these cities.
Just get rid of them. That's my solution. I legally can't do that, So, but I think it's what it's going to take in a way.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the other guy who's running for Senate in Michigan, who could quite possibly be our first Muslim senator, Abdul Asyad.
He's the one that's friends with Hassan Piker for sure.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Yes. And he ran against Ashley Stevens. Dale, when we did the show after that election, after the primaries, well, she's now come out and supporting him.
Oh, of course she did. Yes.
Where I'd kind of hoped, because she had really won the working class vote down in lower Michigan, like the Detroit
where she
area.
would not support him. So why is that, I wonder?
So now she's coming out and supporting. And also I did some research on what paid for his campaign, and he had all small donors. No APAC. I mean, no real PAC money is what I meant to say. So he had all small donors. But we had talked about the Muslim Brotherhood. They probably set up an LLC. They do all of this stuff to get these people elected.
Coming in.
Hassan Piker lives in like a $5 million house in West Hollywood.
Yeah,
of course he does.
and has millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But Abdul Saeed, he was on with Jesse Waters last night. We only have less than a minute here, but we'll talk about it next block. You know, he's pushing for Medicaid for all. Do you know Abdul's wife is a doctor and she refuses to take Medicaid? It's not functional for her.
It is not. It's not functional for a lot of doctors.
Right.
So,
And do you know how Medicaid is paid? It's not through a billionaire tax. It's through our FICA.
Correct. That's where it
Our
comes from.
payroll taxes.
Yep.
That's what pays Medicaid. And they're slick as snot with these words that everybody wants, you know, tax the billionaires for roads and Medicaid for all.
Yep.
Medicaid for all comes out of our paychecks.
Correct.
Our
Each and every one of
FICA.
those.
Yep. Not from a billionaire's tax.
Yep.
And these young people are so frustrated with our economic situation currently. And I'm frustrated too. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what Besant did. Our bond market's in trouble. We're in trouble. We have $40 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
And these liberal, insane Muslim leaders like Mamdani and Al Said that's why they're gaining traction.
They're taking advantage of the
They're
fact
telling
that that's what's
everybody
happening.
that we're just going to tax billionaires and give us everything for free, and that's not.
You see
gonna
that?
happen.
See that clip of all those the Muslims marching in Dearborn? I know it was.
We played it on our
Dearborn's
show.
lost.
And
Michigan, Dearborn is lost. You know, maybe the whole state, unfortunately.
These people are not here to assimilate to America. They don't care about our values.
Nope.
And there are a lot of them chanting, like some of them say "Death to America." They're not even
Death
hiding.
to America. Yeah, I know.
Why
It's what they
everybody
say.
else- You know, freedom.
We got 3 seconds, Barry.
we're
Hold
going to
that
break.
thought. We'll be back right after this.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. I've been there, I looked, I tried to see. Here I am in New York City, watching a nice sunrise. Not really. I'm in the warehouse. I'm telling you about a conservative organization, not the AARP loser, left wing, forget about it. This is where you need to be. You get everything conservative menus. America.us/TAFW.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Hey Patriots, we're excited to bring to you Sugar Creek Goods, all natural quality skincare products brought to you by great patriots like we are here. That's why we brought this into the America First Warehouse. All these great natural products are amazing, and you can get them on our website and go right to www.sugarcreekgoods.com/TAFW. These are phenomenal products. I love them all. And this one right here is for Patriot Pup. Thank you so much for supporting us.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hi, we're back. I'm Maureen Enner with my co-host Dale on 2G1C, Red, White, and Blonde, America First Media and Television Network, the most patriotic network in the country, I would like to say. At least today it is, for sure. And we have, for our last block, we have Barry Morgenstein still joining us, a patriot, a rock and roller, a former long-haired 70s liberal, which I don't even think they were liberals. It was just, they were minor compared to what.
And there's pictures to prove it out there.
Yeah, we need to see pictures of.
I've seen them.
We need to see your long-haired pictures too, Dale.
Oh, I know.
Your long-haired rock and roll pictures.
Yep.
And I'm always the only one to wear my tribute shirt. You guys don't ever.
Nothing screams rock and roll more than USA. You know.
I'm honoring Tom Petty, my favorite. I have to say, I think Tom Petty might be my favorite solo artist.
Really?
Male solo
almost wore a
artist.
Dwayne Allman shirt, but I went for the patriotism instead.
You did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I love Tom Petty. Tom Petty was, I read an article the other day that his estate is still not solved, like settled. Like, yeah, it's like a big mess. And I don't know if it's the ex-wife. Yeah, very interesting, but ton of money, big houses in LA, and the estate. He's been gone for quite a while. And they're still fighting over the money.
I miss Tom Petty's music, but I also miss, I don't know if you guys knew, he had the greatest station on Sirius.
Yes.
And he played the best music, like roots of rock and roll.
Yes, I forgot about that, Barry. You're right.
They still do the repeats.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, it's
and I think he's from Gainesville, Florida, isn't he? I think that's where he was born.
So.
I think so. Yeah, it's Gainesville.
He had great taste in music because he was like the real rock and roll. He had the right influences and
I remember him when they came out, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and that was. I really think, and we talked about this the other day too, Dale. I feel like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that soundtrack, is what launched Tom Petty to where everybody. Because he was kind of not really known. He was kind of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and then he really launched. But yeah, I love my Tom Petty. So
I love that shirt.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to get back to talking, politics, what's happened after 9/11. Collectively, the three of us have all agreed things are not better after 9/11. We are not a better country. We are not a stronger country. Collectively, the three of us agree Obama was, they call him the divider in chief. He absolutely was. Racially, economically, just
culturally,
really
everything.
Culturally, just everything. And I was mentioning in the break that recently 2 Phoenix police officers were arrested. They did a horrible thing. They pulled somebody over, kidnapped. It's just a terrible story. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about every police agency across this country has been decimated. Retirement, New York, NYPD, LA County. These are 2 huge departments. My husband's Sheriff's Department, 2,200 sworn. I mean, huge department, all decimated. Obama did no favors for the police. And when you lose so many good police officers, these agencies have to now come in, lower the standards, hire whoever they can hire, get them out on the street, because every agency has a federal requirement. You have so many sworn you have to have on the street. They're struggling with that. People hate the cops. It's so, and that is really, I would say, from day one of Obama that we have seen.
Can I add about Obama too?
Yes, please.
Not only the police, but also the military. Remember his rules of engagement made it very difficult for our warriors, our heroes, to kill the enemy.
To do their jobs.
But yet he killed innocent people with his drones.
I know people personally that were arrested for basically killing the enemy.
Really?
They were charged with murder. Some of them, well, Eddie Gallagher was one. He was very. He's actually his book, not to change course, but his book is with my publisher, Balance Books, where I photographed Eddie when he was going through his trial. But if you read his story, my God, it's infuriating. It's like, and it's one of many of just somebody who was doing their job. And he was charged with murder. Luckily, he got off. I think he was eventually pardoned. Trump. But there's so many stories, and that all that started.
But all of that is the breaking down of American power.
Correct.
And
Well, he's our first
people-
president that hated America, I think.
Well, yeah, he did. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
doubt. But
And his
the
wife.
projection that he
Yep,
had
and his wife,
against,
Mike.
yeah, but the projection that Obama had against any kind of power in this country was terrible. Like, I'm just going to start with the police. I'm going to start at the lower levels of city leadership and police, district attorneys, no cash bail, all of that started.
That's where you infiltrate the system. You're right, Maureen.
Yes, and
Right.
it all started, and I can remember my husband wearing the badge under Obama and in California, and the effect that he had on, and that is why we are seeing our cities collapse, our crime. That was all a plan. That was all a plan. And they started at a ground level, and now they're coming up to where Al Said is calling
And that's
Sharia
why-
law, that if we are against Sharia law, we are racist.
Correct.
That's what he said last
well, that's
night.
if we didn't vote for Obama, we were racist. If I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
vote for Kamala Harris, I was again racist, right? It's the same thing. If you're against Sharia law, you're racist. That's what they're claiming.
And that's what he
Everything's
said
racist.
last
Mhm.
night, and he tried to compare Sharia law to New Canon law, which is Catholicism,
Yep,
which
correct.
that is insane.
Disgusting.
Mhm.
It's actually disgusting.
Yeah. What did you see that interview with Jesse Waters and El Said yesterday,
I haven't
Barry?
I need to see that.
Take your blood pressure medicine first.
Yep, do it. You'll be
As soon as we get
you'll
off
be
the
like
everybody's
Michigan's fucked, if this guy gets in, and so is the country.
What about like his little gangster ghetto man?
I
Hey
know.
man, like
So hip.
So he's trying
Does
to
that
get
stupid
the
music
black.
video, like a rap video, I think.
But he's trying to get
Correct.
the black vote.
Correct.
He's trying to get the black vote, but the black vote in Detroit and the lower end of they're all saying no way.
No way.
We are not. Don't talk like that, thinking we're coming on your side. We don't want it. We
Yeah.
don't want this communist. We don't want it.
You know, I've been saying since Obama too, and it's coming true, and it seemed outrageous at the time. I was saying these leftists, they just want to ruin our country, and or the ones that are coming to this country, they don't want to assimilate. They don't want American values. If they got the power, and that one, I think she was. Luckily, she lost the primary. That Korean lady.
Yeah.
And she said she hates Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving,
Correct.
yeah.
Yep. That's the one.
Wisconsin.
But that's how they think. And if they got in power, I swear that the Thanksgiving Day parade in New York would be over. July 4th, we wouldn't celebrate. This is dangerous with this ideology.
That's already
very
happening
dangerous.
in cities across America.
And how
Look
many
at
Democrats
Dearborn,
are coming-
Michigan.
how many
They don't
Democrats-
have any Americans there.
What's that, Barry? I'm
How
sorry.
many
What?
Democrats are coming out against it? No.
It's a big tent. That's what they're saying. Here's the theory. We're a big tent. We're an open tent. We welcome all sorts of ideas. That's what makes us, the Democrat Party, so good for America.
Yeah, we welcome Islamic terrorists, child rapists, child mutilation.
It's
Fuck you.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. It's infuriating. And we
What
can't
do you
exist
think?
with them.
You know what's concerning me is Hakeem Jeffries meeting with Jared Kushner. I think we're going to lose the midterms. That's why they're meeting. That's why they had a meeting.
You're kidding me.
I heard about
Did you know they had a meeting?
I did hear that. I did.
They
hear
had a
that.
meeting on Sunday, I believe.
But I don't know. I hope that's not right because we lose the midterms. Yeah, they're going to be.
I hope not too, but
every other week.
there's
Yeah,
no other reason for those two to meet than we have concern.
I don't know. I just don't know.
And they're doing some deal.
Well, we
There's
have to-
some deal that they made to protect Trump. I'm telling you, that is a huge deal that
And how-
Jared Kushner and Hakeem Jeffries met to do some deal that if we lose the midterms, you can't do X, Y, and Z.
Speaking of the midterms, why are we not passing the Save America Act?
Why are we not?
How is that
Yeah.
so freaking hard to do?
Yep.
Because they know if they pass that, the Democratic Party, as we know it, would never survive it, and they know that.
But the Republicans are holding it up. So what is going on?
Yep. John
can't they
Thune
pass it?
doesn't have the balls to bring the vote, doesn't have the balls to kill the filibuster, which they're going to do if they regain power. Let's be honest. This is not some sort of game. They've told you their playbook already, what they're going to do.
That's
Yeah.
why they're
Pack
not
the
all
Supreme
on our
Court.
side. Just because you
Yeah.
have an R behind your name doesn't mean you're fighting
Correct.
for us.
I totally agree with that. Yep, I agree with that.
Things we need to pay attention to, everyone, before the midterms. We got to look at the bond market is in trouble.
Yep.
we're $40 trillion in debt.
Yep.
I said it before. I think Trump's going to go in to Iran after the midterms. I don't think he has a choice now with the economy.
Mm-hmm.
The bond market is making me very nervous. What
Yeah.
Scott Bessent said yesterday, not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, I have to tell you, he's talking at a level that 90% of Americans don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Very
That stuff's on fire.
concerning.
It's like-
Yeah. We got about like a minute and a half. I want Barry to plug everything he can possibly
Yes.
plug in this minute and a
Let's
half.
end on a happy
And-
note.
Yeah, we're going to have him back because we can just continue
Yeah, I
with
love him back.
politics, and we
Yeah, I know,
we
this is so
certainly will
fast.
do that.
Yeah.
And
You
Barry,
know.
share with us your upcoming shoot you have in Virginia this week.
Yeah, so Virginia, really, it's one day, Saturday, this Saturday, August 29th. We have literally one spot left. So it's we're in Alexandria, Virginia. So if
Yeah.
you're in the DC, Virginia area, need headshots, we can get one more in the evening. So yeah,
Wow.
appreciate that. If you guys want to buy the book, Rock and Soul, go to my website. I'll sign a copy for you. Tell me what you want me to sign. Personal message. I will do that. I was going to be in New Jersey, September. Oh, what are the dates? Oh my God, September. I wish I could remember the dates. I'm going to be in PaisanCon selling my book. So for 3 days, it's going to be in Islin, New Jersey. You can look it up. Paisan.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish
Well,
it's
we.
at the end of September, so I'll be there. Yeah, they said I'm an honorary Paisan, so I'm going to be there.
Yeah, nice.
I love it. So in the last couple seconds that we have here, again, I just wanted to thank you, Barry. You're always you're one of my favorite.
21st, I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of my favorite people. I just love you. And I just wanted to talk about what we're doing next Tuesday. Dale, we have Mike Netter joining us. He's running for state senate in California. He's also running the Steve Hilton campaign for governor.
Yep.
And he's a wonderful person. He's on WABC. I've known him a long time. He's going to talk about California.
I cannot wait to hear that. Barry, from both of us, again, thank you so much. I am honored that I was introduced to you, and it's an absolute pleasure calling you my friend as well now. I can't wait to meet you in person. Hopefully, Maureen and I can get up there for some headshots. We get you into the warehouse, get everybody headshots. Let's set it up with Joe the Box. He knows what's going on. Folks, thank you again for joining us here at 2G1C Red, White, and Blonde on the American First Media and Television Network. Like, follow, and share. Stay tuned for all the other podcasts. Barry, thank you again. What an honor. Maureen, as always, a pleasure. And we'll see you all next Tuesday.
See you Tuesday with Mike Netter.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We couldn't do it without you. Your support keeps us strong. Right where friends